Hey legends, welcome along to Sceammeupbotty. I'm your host, Rodney Stewart. So we're getting into Star Trek, the original series. Once again, we're still on season 1 of it with episode 20. It's called Court Martial. Great episode. It's very simple premise in this one. The Enterprise is at Starbase 11. It's there for repairs after being damaged in an ion storm. But during the storm, Captain Kirk was forced to eject a research pod containing Lieutenant Commander Benjamin Finney, and a search party was unable to find Finney. And Commodore Stone, commander of the base, reveals that the ship's records discovers that Kirk ejected the pod while the ship was at yellow alert and not red alert, as Captain Kirk has claimed. Now I'm very swiftly going through this episode tonight because I don't have a lot of time. I should have had this up about an hour ago, but it's my own friggin' stupidity that's wound up been so late. So essentially, with Starfleet regulations, they should have been on red alert before he ejected the pod, and he's claiming that he gave the appropriate amount of time. He went through the right steps as captain, went to yellow alert, gave Finney the warning to get out of the pod to safety, and yes, he should have been on red alert before he actually released it. But the records of the Enterprise are showing that there was actually a yellow alert. So Stone accuses Kirk of perjury and warns him that he may be subject to court martial. So Stone then interviews Kirk privately, asking about his history with Finney. Kirk has served with Finney aboard the USS Republic, and well before he was captain, and he reported a mistake Finney had made, put it on record, and that caused Finney to be reprimanded and sent to the bottom of the promotion list. And ever since, Finney has blamed Kirk for hindering his advancement. This is what you eventually find out in the episode, but Stone asks Kirk, to voluntarily step down as captain of the Enterprise, but Kirk disputes the allegations and he demands a court martial. So at the trial, both Spock and Dr. McCoy defend Kirk's character, but testify to the facts that Kirk had reason to resent Finney. There's a lot of, they don't want to do it, but the prosecution is very good at getting them to not say something against Kirk because they want to say something against Kirk, but through the regulations of what happened and whatnot. So they managed to get Spock and Dr. McCoy to testify to the facts that Kirk had reason to resent Finney. And is it possible for the ship's computer log to be wrong? And that's a back and forth and whatnot. Does not look good for Kirk. Every character witness that comes up, there's as much as they want to defend him, there's just something there that kind of points the finger at him as well. Finney's daughter Jamie looks on. Samuel T. Cogley, Kirk's attorney, puts him on the stand, but again, Kirk's testimony contradicts the computer logs, which include a visual recording that shows Kirk ejecting the pod while the ship was on red alert. So it's damning evidence against him right there. During a recess, Kirk tells Spock that he might be able to beat his next captain at chess, giving Spock an idea. Mr. Spock discovers that he's able to beat the Enterprise computer several times at three-dimensional chess, despite having given the computer all his knowledge of the game. He concludes that the computer has been tampered with, as his best outcome should have been a draw. Spock arrives with his findings before the court-martial verdict can be handed down, and Cogley makes an impassioned speech on the rights of man versus machine, demand that the court reconvene aboard the Enterprise. So once there, Spock notes that only 3 people could have altered the computer records on board the Enterprise: Kirk himself and Finney, and Cogley suggests that Finney is not dead. At this point, the crew has been beamed down to Starbase 11, and it only leaves whoever's on the bridge in control of the Enterprise. So Dr. McCoy uses this sensitive audio device tied to the computer that can detect a human heartbeat aboard the ship. So you hear all these thumps, 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 and it's a whole string of noise, and they explain this is the heartbeats of everybody on board. So McCoy goes around everybody on the bridge, puts this device to their chests, scans their heartbeat and whatnot, and the computer is able to take that out of the sound that you're hearing on the bridge. So 1 heartbeat remains. He's took all the heartbeats out of everybody in the bridge, which means beyond them, there's nobody else on the Enterprise. It should be completely silent. But 1 heartbeat remains coming from the engineering section. So they figure out Finney is alive, he's still down there. So Kirk goes to end the whole situation, and he finds Finney, who draws a phaser and informs him that he has sabotaged the ship, so she'll drop out of orbit. The thing is now, because there's no crew in the Enterprise, she's orbiting the planet, but if there's nobody there to, keep the ship in a proper orbit, any little course corrections here and there, it'll eventually go into a decaying orbit. And of course they, Funny, he's willing to destroy the Enterprise just to get back at Kirk. Kirk reveals that Finney's daughter Jamie is also on board. This was his hidden move here, was to bring her on board the ship. If Finney's there, he's not going to let her get harmed. This confusing Finney, giving Kirk the time to wrestle the weapon away, and they have their fist fight at the end of the episode. After Finney is secured, Kirk repairs the damage, whatever Finney's done down in the engine room. He's going to put the Enterprise into a spiral, whether I like it or not. But Kirk manages to repair whatever damage he's done. At the end of the episode, Kirk is cleared of all charges and restored to duty. So that is a very, very swift little run through of this episode. Unbelievable. 1967. I know how old that show was. I'm not stupid. But it looks dated in places, but since they did the updated visual effects to the series, it's, it lasts well. It's aged like a fine wine. Unbelievable. So, yes, the woman that was against Kirk in this as the defense was Lieutenant Ariel Shaw, who he had a little bit of a romantic history with. And at the end of the episode, they managed to, kiss and make up as well. So it finishes off with everybody happy as Larry at the end of it. So the script was originally entitled Court Martial on Starbase 11. I'm just going through some of the stuff that I'm finding up online here about it. Let me see. This episode was originally commissioned by producer Gene Alcoon as a cheap single set episode. You do find that in a lot of Star Trek shows, even the newer ones. Just as big budget shows like these, you can't go flat out and mad set pieces and crazy visual effects for all the episodes. There's always a few in there that will be small, simple little episodes that can be produced quickly and cheaply. This was one of them, and it was very, very well done. Let me see now. However, the final version of the script required several new sets to be built, not to mention a matte painting of Starbase 11. For the final version, 4 new sets were built: Kirk's quarters in the Starbase, Commodore Stone's office, the Starfleet bar, and the courtroom itself. So, for an episode that was scripted to be a money saver, sounds like it could have been fairly expensive at the end of it. Erich Cook Jr. had difficulty memorising his long dramatic appeals to the court. Many of his speeches in the script are not present in the aired version, and some of those that were filmed frequently cut away from him to the court. Yes, so if he kept forgetting lines and whatnot, and that's a trick I've used in the past. I've done a couple of little short film projects, nothing major, like zero budget nonsense. But I have found that if somebody has forgetting lines and whatnot, you end up with like multiple takes or something. You can have about 10 to 15 different versions of the same speech, and sometimes the best way to get the best result is to take segments out of like 7 to 10 of these and mash them together. And the best way to do that, to keep the continuity, is to cut back to something else or cut away to something else. Like you'll visually take the viewer's eyes and put it on something else, and then you'll come back in, and as far as you, the viewer, is concerned, that's the exact same speech, but it's a completely different take. So I love reading this sort of stuff and hearing that sort of stuff. This is the first episode to refer to the organisation of main characters as part of a Starfleet. Top of the hierarchy in Starfleet Command. It is also the first appearance of a starbase in the series. Previously, the name of the Enterprise's service had varied, such as the Conscience of the King, where it was referred to as a star service. So, there's little bits and pieces that have changed here and there over time. And yeah, probably something that I've actually considered while watching the shows, but whenever you actually see it written down there, so it's kind of strange too, like just how much of a staple Star Trek is in pop culture. Whenever you're going through something like this here and you're looking up all the old episodes from the original series, and you're looking at the behind the scenes sort of stuff, and you're seeing the actual universe and a process have been built, and some things maybe been renamed here and there along the line. Love that sort of stuff, right up my alley. So yes, that's going to do it for this episode. Tasty one, and I've destroyed it for you completely, and I should get used to saying spoilers at the start of these podcast episodes. But yes, the original series, in my mind, is one of these, it doesn't matter whether you know the episodes or not, they're just a joy to watch. The vast majority of them. Just the same as the Next Generation, Voyager, DS9, and even Enterprise. What am I saying? Even Enterprise. Enterprise was great. But yes, the rewatchability of these old shows are phenomenal. So yes, once again, I just want to say I apologise for the show being on hiatus for as long as it has been. But we're back now. We're going to be going daily, and I'm going to try my hardest to stay to an upload schedule of 9 p.m. GMT. And if the episode doesn't get out by 9 p.m. GMT, just know that it's going to be running late, and it will be out at some point the night it's due to be out. So I'm spinning a lot of plates at the minute. I'm still trying to find my feet and get a good balance between everything that I'm doing, between the podcasts, the vlog channels over on YouTube, and indeed working full time. So hope you enjoyed it, guys, and until the next episode, stay safe, and I will talk to you all then. This has been a production of Coins Age Media. Thank you so much for listening.